He was the face of an entire generation, the boy every Kenyan child wanted to be. But what happened to Tyler Mbaya will leave you speechless. Nudes leaked, money vanished, a mother buried too soon, and viral videos of a man completely unrecognizable from the child star you once loved. This is the most devastating downfall in the Kenyan entertainment history. This is the shocking truth behind the tragic downfall of Tyler Mbaya, the child star millions once adored. But that is not all, because behind the headlines lies a story far darker than anyone expected. A young boy who lost his mother at the peak of his fame, a rising star who watched his career slowly disappear, and a man battling addiction, debt, and demons that played out in front of the entire nation. And just when fans thought things couldn't get worse, private scandals leaked, relationships shattered, and viral videos surfaced showing a side of him the public had never seen before. How did the Kenya's favorite child star lose it all? Was this a personal failure or the painful price of growing up in the spotlight too soon? Stay with me because what happened next shocks everyone. If you grew up in Kenya between 2007 and 2019, there is one face you could never forget. One voice, one name, Baha. Tyler Mbaya was not just a character on television. He was a cultural institution. Every evening, millions of Kenyan families gathered around their screens to watch Machachari on Citizen TV. And at the center of that phenomenon was a young boy with effortless charm, comedic timing beyond his years, and a smile that could light up an entire room. But here is what nobody warned him about: fame. When it arrives at your doorstep, before you even understand what childhood means, has a cost, and that cost for Tyler Mbaya has been nothing short of catastrophic. Today, we are going to walk through every painful chapter of his story, from the highest highs of national stardom to the lowest lows of addiction, scandal, heartbreak, and public humiliation. And I need you to stay until the very end, because what we uncover in the final minutes of this video changes everything you thought you knew about this man. To understand how far Tyler Mbaya fell, you first need to understand how impossibly high he climbed. Machachari premiered in 2007 on Citizen TV, and it was unlike anything Kenyan had ever seen. A show built entirely around the lives, dreams, and misadventures of children growing up in a typical Kenyan neighborhood. It was wholesome, it was hilarious, and it was dangerously relatable. But here is the part that nobody talks about. While the cameras captured the bright smile and infectious laughter, behind the scenes, the foundation was already beginning to crack. Because Tyler Mbaya was not just carrying a character on his shoulders, but he was carrying the weight of expectations that no child should ever have to bear. And then the first devastating blow struck, losing his mother. But that is not even the worst part. Wait until you hear what happened next.
She brought laughter in thousands of living rooms in Kenya. Beth Nyambura Mbaya, aka Wanade, known to fans of the popular program Mother-in-Law. But early Friday morning, Beth Nyambura lost her long battle with cancer, a disease which never put her down. It never stopped her from doing what she loved.
Tyler Mbaya's mother was Beth Nyambura Mbaya, and if that name sounds familiar to you, it should. Beth herself, a celebrated actress in the Kenyan entertainment scene, known to audiences by her stage name, Wanade. She was not just Tyler Mbaya's mother, she was his mentor, his guide, his emotional anchor, and the one person who understood the unique pressures of growing up in the public eye because she had navigated that world herself. When Beth Nyambura passed away, Tyler's world did not just shake, it shattered. He was still young, still forming his identity, and still trying to figure out who Tyler Mbaya was beneath the character of Baha. And suddenly, the one person who could have helped him navigate that impossible transition was gone forever. There was no industry support system waiting to catch him. There was no child star protection program in Kenya. There was no therapist assigned by the production company, and there was no financial advisor managing his earnings. There was just silence and grief and the relentless and forgiving machinery of an entertainment industry that had already begun to move on without him. Now, while his co-stars soared, Tyler watched from the ground. After Machachari ended its legendary run, something happened that cut deeper than any personal loss.
Machachari, like the ending wasn't that great. Even the way we were dismissed wasn't good. I wouldn't say it was good. I was young, I was in pain a lot. I didn't understand. Like I just felt bad about it.
Tyler Mbaya watched in real time as the industry that raised him replaced him. His former co-stars began landing major roles. They began winning awards. They began building careers that extended far beyond the walls of that fictional neighborhood. Real Buggi transitioned into new acting opportunities and grew his brand significantly. Govi carved out a respected space in the industry with consistent work and public admiration. He continued to evolve as a performer and remained relevant in entertainment circles. They all earned recognition and accolades that put him on an entirely different trajectory. And Tyler, Baha was on the outside looking in. The roles he once got so effortlessly stopped coming in. The phone calls from casting directors went quiet. The invitations to industry events dried up. It was as though the moment Machachari ended, the industry decided that Baha belonged to the past, and nobody asked Tyler if he was ready for that verdict. Now, this is a critical point that most people overlook. Tyler Mbaya did not lose his talent, and let me be clear about that. The boy captivated an entire nation for over a decade, did not suddenly forget how to act. What he lost was opportunity, and what he lost was momentum. While his peers were climbing ladders, Tyler was searching for one, and when desperation meets a vacuum of guidance, that is when the real distraction begins. The swindling allegations that destroyed his reputation.
Mr. Machachari yuko wapi sai? Nasikia Machachari ameenda akafuliza tu dem. Kuna dem fulani wa America. Imebidi mpaka afanye video.
Sorry to intrude, but are you guys being evicted because your husband reached out to me akitaka nimkope pesa kuza nasema you guys are being evicted, but from the look of things and from your Insta stories, I don't feel like that could be the case. So kindly please niambie kama Baha and scam or actually you guys are being evicted and need help.
And now we arrive at the chapter that turned public sympathy into public outrage. Reports began surfacing, first as whispers, then as full-blown accusations that Tyler Mbaya had been swindling money from people around him. Not strangers, not faceless corporations, but fellow content creators and people who trusted him, people who considered him a friend, a colleague, a brother in the hustle. These allegations were devastating. Multiple individuals came forward publicly claiming that Tyler Mbaya had borrowed money under false pretenses and never returned it. The amounts varied, but the pattern was consistent, and when people began digging into why, the answer was even more painful than the accusations themselves. Gambling. Tyler Mbaya was reportedly battling a severe gambling addiction. The money he allegedly took from those around him was not funding a lavish lifestyle. It was feeding an addiction that had wrapped itself around his life like a vice. Every shilling borrowed was another bet placed. Every promise broken was another loss absorbed. And every public accusation was another nail in the coffin of the boy next door image that had taken years to build. Brand endorsements evaporated overnight. Companies that once proudly attached their name to his face distanced themselves completely. The trust that the public had placed in him, built over more than a decade of wholesome television, was gone in a matter of weeks. But here is the question that nobody was asking at the time. Where was the help? Where was the intervention program? Where was the industry leaders? And if you thought that the financial scandals were the lowest point, I needed to brace yourself, because what happened in Tyler Mbaya's personal life was equally, if not more, devastating. Tyler and Georgina Njenga had once been one of the most talked about young couples in the Kenyan social media landscape. Their relationship played out publicly, as relationships often do in the age of content creation. They shared moments of joy, intimacy, and love with hundreds of thousands of followers. And when their daughter Astra was born, it seemed like Tyler Mbaya had finally found something stable, something real, and something worth protecting. But behind the curated posts and couple photos, the relationship was deteriorating. The fallout between Tyler and Georgina became one of the most bitter and publicized breakups in the recent Kenyan pop culture. Accusations blew in both directions. Personal details that should have remained private were dragged into the public arena. Social media became a battlefield where pain was performed for an audience of millions, and Tyler was seen publicly breaking down, not in controlled, managed, celebrity-approved way, but raw, emotional, and desperate. The kind of breakdowns that make you realize that this is not content, and this is a human being falling apart in real time. The frustration in his voice during these moments was unmistakable. The depression was visible in his eyes, and the world watched, some with sympathy, many with judgment, and the algorithms, heartless and efficient, pushed every painful moment to the top of every feed. Now, to their credit, recent reports suggest that Tyler and Georgina have made efforts to reconcile, at least when it comes to co-parenting their daughter Astra, and that, despite everything, shows a level of maturity that deserves acknowledgement. But the damage to his public image was already done, and then came the leaks. This is the part of the story that most channels are afraid to tell, but you are going to address it because ignoring it means ignoring the full scope of what Tyler Mbaya has endured. Private intimate images and videos of Tyler Mbaya were leaked online without his consent. They spread across the social media platforms at a speed that no damage control could contain. Within hours, what should have been the most private aspect of his life was the most public conversation in the country. But the leaks did not just expose his body, they exposed what many began calling his double life. Reports emerged linking Tyler to the adult content industry, what some refer to as the blue industry. Allegations surfaced that in a desperate attempt to generate income after his mainstream career collapsed, Tyler had turned to creating explicit content for paying subscribers. Now, let me pause here because how we respond to this says more about us than it does about him. Was it a departure from his professional roots? Absolutely. Did it alienate a large portion of his conversation audience? Without question. Was it the act of a man who had been chewed up and spat out by an industry that gave him no tools for survival? That is the conversation we should all be having. The viral videos did not stop there. Footage began circulating across every major platform showing Tyler in states of visible intoxication. In one clip, he appeared completely drunk, disoriented, barely able to stand. In another, he was involved in an aggressive altercation with women, an incident that sparked massive backlash and calls for accountability. And in yet another video, he was seen in a physical confrontation with men. His body language radiating anger, frustration, and a pain that no camera could fully capture. These were not the actions of the boy Kenya fell in love with on Machachari. These were the actions of a man drowning. Instead of throwing him a lifeline, the internet pressed record. And now we arrive at the part of the video that I believe matters most, the part that transforms this from celebrity gossip into something far more important. Tyler Mbaya's downfall is not just a personal tragedy. The Kenyan entertainment ecosystem, for all its brilliance and creativity, has historically failed its youngest and most vulnerable stars. There are no standardized child labor protection for young actors. There is no mandatory financial literacy education for minors earning significant income, and there is no mental health infrastructure built into production companies, and there are no transition programs designed to help child performers navigate the brutal shift into adulthood. Tyler entered the industry as a child. He was given a platform but not a plan. He was given fame but not financial education, and he was given a character to play but not the tools to build a career beyond that character. And when the show ended, when the lights went off and the camera stopped rolling, he was left standing in the dark with nothing but a famous name and a mountain of unprocessed trauma. Tyler Mbaya is still young. His story is not over. The same talent that captivated a nation for over a decade does not simply disappear. It evolves, it waits, and if given the right support, the right mentorship, and the right opportunity, it can return. But that requires something from all of us. It requires us to stop treating struggling public figures as entertainment. It requires us to demand better protections for young performers in Kenya. And it requires us to remember that behind every trending hashtag and viral video, there is a human being. Here is the question I want to leave you with today. Is this the end of Baha or the beginning of Tyler? And I genuinely want to hear your answer in the comments below. Is Tyler Mbaya's story a cautionary tale about the price of fame, or is it a mirror being held up to an industry and a society that failed one of its own? Because the truth, the uncomfortable, complicated, messy truth is that it is both. He made mistakes, real ones, painful ones, one that hurt other people, and those need to be acknowledged without excuse. But he was also a child who was placed on a national stage, who lost his mother during the most vulnerable period of his life, who watched his peers succeed while he struggled, and who was given absolutely no safety net when the fall came, and that too needs to be acknowledged without deflection. Tyler Mbaya is not a villain, he is not a victim, he is a human being caught between the two, and his story is far from finished. If this video moved you, if it made you think, if it made you feel something, drop a comment right now. Tell me your honest thoughts on Tyler Mbaya's journey. Do you believe he can come back? Do you think the industry owes him more? And what do you think Kenya needs to do to protect the generation of child stars? Hit that subscribe button if you have not already, because we cover stories like this every single day, stories that go deeper than the headlines, stories that matter. And share this video with someone who grew up watching Machachari, because this is not just Tyler's story, it is ours, and I will see you in the next one.